Hello, everyone. My name is Lori Quiller, and welcome to the Air Force Culture and Language Center's inaugural Facebook Live event. I'm here today with Director Mr. Howard Ward, and we would like to invite you to join us in the Air Force's Global Classroom. But first, we have a few simple rules. Please maintain the principles and standards of professional behavior and communication. Please mute your mics while others are speaking. Hold your questions, if you will, until the end of the brief, where you may unmute your mics and ask your questions or enter them into the chat. And please follow proper OPSEC procedures and guidance and remain cognizant that Facebook is an unclassified medium. Mr. Ward, thank you so much for joining me today.
My pleasure, Lori.
So if you met someone on the street, how would you describe the Air Force Culture and Language Center's mission and vision?
Lori, I appreciate you asking that question because it's actually happened before, and it's better on the street than a crosswalk because folks get really interested when the conversation normally becomes extended after I give the quick answer. Our vision is the Air Force's global classroom. That simple moniker gives us focus on our primary purpose of meeting airmen where they are at all stages and phases of their careers to prepare them for partner interoperability and adversary understanding through language, region, and culture education.
Can you also explain how AFCLC fits into the overall mission of the Air Force and now the Space Force?
You bet, Lori, the world is moving too quickly to lose time because we can't connect and communicate due to barriers in culture and language. And strategic decision speed, faster than the rate of change in the world, can only be achieved through sturdy relationships built over time. Situational and transactional relationships will not suffice in providing decision speed faster than the rate of change in our security environment. Since the Air Force's mission is global and expeditionary, the service needs a deep bench of folks who are ready today to work with host nation partners on issues of basing, overflight, logistics, training, technology, in all aspects of employment from humanitarian to major combat operations. That's why our academic mission aligns with the Air Force mission statement of fly, fight, and win, air power, anytime, anywhere. We play an important role in putting the anywhere in air power and anywhere with anyone, I might add.
Well, it sounds like AFCLC is definitely on the cutting edge of education innovation for language, regional expertise, and culture. So speaking of education innovation, we've all heard the phrase, there's an app for that. So it even applies to AFCLC. For those tuning in with us today, you can also go to the Apple Store or to Google Play and download it right now by searching for Culture Guide. Mr. Ward, would you like to talk just a little bit about the app?
You know I would, Lori, and I can't thank you enough for asking about the app. That's the repository of our culture field guides. You know, the Wall Street Journal wrote a very favorable review of the field guides and the app. I do want to put in a plug for our culture field guides before I talk more about our app. Our guides are built around our teaching model of the 12 domains of culture and are developed to teach airmen the basics about the culture of a country where the Air Force is sending them so they can prepare to adapt and operate effectively in their surroundings. The app came along when we realized that, like most folks, the path to an airman's heart and mind starts in their pocket, where they carry their phone. Rather than mailing out hard copies, we said, let's put the world in their pocket so they can have our content on demand. The app runs on Androids, iPhone, and is cleared for installation on government devices, all free for users.
So recently, AFCLC launched an updated version of the app during this year's AU LREC Symposium. Can you tell us about the major updates that took place?
I was holding my breath hoping you'd ask that question. At our recent symposium, we unveiled and launched App 2.0 with new functionality and, more importantly, a new vision for region and culture education. We made modifications to the app to greatly enhance the accessibility of field guides, but the major news and the first part of our new vision is that we are now pushing official Air Force courseware through the app. Our first course, available for you to take right now, is called Developing Cultural Competence. This course was developed to answer a directive from the Chief of Staff in Action Order Alpha for airmen to develop cultural competence in all airmen beginning at the point of accession. Now, here's where the second part of the new vision comes in and makes this really exciting. When you finish the course, The app will generate a completion certificate that will allow you or your training manager to upload completion into the personnel system of record. So what you have here is official education delivered through a mobile app and completely untethered from government IT systems. Let that sink in for just a moment. Can you imagine how quickly airmen can gain accessible, relevant, impactful curriculum to enhance job effectiveness at enterprise scale and speed, just as General Brown charged us to do, without the limitations of connectivity and accessibility of government IT? Lori, if it were possible for all 600,000 members of the total force to stop what they're doing at once, we could educate the entire force on the basics of culture in the next 2.5 hours. Enterprise scale at accelerate change velocity, all achievable with courseware delivered to the classroom that resides in every airman's pocket.
That's a lot of change. And I hear that there's a few other exciting updates launching on the app at the end of this month. Can you tell our viewers what they can expect to see on the app this holiday season?
Darn right, Lori, we have 2 new courses on track for launch before the end of the month. In Action Order Charlie for competition, General Brown told us that we have to be familiar with our adversaries and their ways of war to include their cultures and languages. Introduction to Chinese culture and Introduction to Russian culture are short courses designed to baseline the service on general attributes of our primary adversaries' cultures. Just like developing cultural competence, these are official courses that can be tracked in MilPDS untethered from government IT. We're also building an integrated deterrence video library to distribute through our app, which I'll save for another big reveal coming soon. But Lori, since it's you and you're special, just like all the folks who joined us today, the big reveal is coming December 17th.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, sir.
You bet.
I'd like to go back a little bit and talk about during the symposium, Secretary of the Air Force Frank Kendall spoke about the importance of cultural competence for integrated deterrence with major players such as China. How will AFCLC's new Introduction to China and Introduction to Russia courses meet this need?
Lori, I'll steal a little wisdom from the Chinese general Sun Tzu, who wrote in The Art of War that the general that knows both the enemy and himself need not worry about the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, you will suffer defeat for every victory gained. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. Culture education is fundamental to understanding both our adversaries and our partners. Without it, we won't be successful in building sturdy partnerships essential to countering malign intentions of adversaries. The threats are clear and present, but so are the opportunities and the way ahead with our partners. You know, outside of our building, there's a historical marker with a quote from General Jimmy Doolittle, one of my heroes, who said, "In the next war, it will be more important to be prepared from the neck up than the neck down." I think General Doolittle would smile, and I hope General Brown will too, when he sees the work we've done to educate the force quickly and at enterprise scale through our mobile app. That's what building an educated force looks like, and AFCLC, the Air Force's global classroom, is leading the way.